niebo. Ziemia. When shall we meet again? In thunder, lightning, or in rain?
When the hurly-burly's done, when the battle's lost and won.
That will be ere the set of sun.
Where the place?
Upon the heath.
There to meet with
Macbeth. Fair is foul, and foul is fair, is foul, and foul is fair,
is foul, and foul is fair.
Hover through the fog and filthy air.
What bloody man is that? He can report, I seemeth by his plight, of revolt in newest state.
This is the sergeant who like a good and hardy soldier fought against my captivity. Hail, brave friend, say to the king the knowledge of the broil as thou didst leave it.
Doubtful it stood as two spent swimmers that cling together and choke their art. The merciless MacDonald, worthy to be a rebel for that the multiplying villainies of nature do swarm upon him from the western isle of currents and gallowglasses is supplied. And fortune on his damned quarrel smiling showed like a rebel's whore. But all's too weak for brave Macbeth. Well, he deserves that name. Disdaining fortune with his brandished steel, which smoked with bloody execution, like valor's minion, carved out his passage, till he faced the slave, which ne'er shook hands nor bade farewell to him, till he unseamed him from the nave to the chaps, and fixed his head upon our battlement.
Ah, cousin, worthy gentlemen!
As whence the sun gives his reflection, shipwrecking storms and direful thunders break, so from that spring whence comfort seemed to come, discomfort swells. Mark, King of Scotland, mark. No sooner justice had with valor armed compelled these skipping kerns to trust their heels, but the Noailles lord, surveying vantage with furbished arms and new supplies of men, began a fresh assault.
Dismayed not this our captains, Macbeth and Banquo?
Yes, as sparrows, eagles, or the hare, the lion. If I say sooth, I must report. They were as cannons overcharged with double cracks, so they doubly redoubled strokes upon the foe. Except they meant to bathe in reeking wounds or memorize another Golgotha. I cannot tell. But I am faint. My gashes cry for help.
So well thy words become thee as thy wounds they smack of honor both. Go get him, surgeons. Who comes here?
The worthy Thane of Ross.
What a haste looks through her eyes. So should she look that seems to speak things strange.
God save the king.
Whence camest thou, worthy Thane?
From Fife, great king, where the Norwegian banners flout the sky and fan our people cold. Norway himself, with terrible numbers, assisted by that most disloyal traitor, the Thane of Cawdor, began a dismal conflict. Till that Bel and his bridegroom, lapped in proof, confronted him with self-comparisons, point against point, rebellious arm against arm, curbing his lavish spirit. And, to conclude, the victory fell on us.
Great happiness! No more that Thane of Cawdor shall deceive our bosom interest. Go, pronounce his presence death, and with his former title, greet Macbeth.
I'll see it done.
What he hath lost, noble Macbeth hath won.
Where hast thou been, sister?
Killing swine.
Sister, where thou? Where thou? A drum! A drum! Macbeth doth come. The weird sisters, hand in hand, posters of the sea and land, thus do go about, thrice to thine, and thrice to mine, and thrice again to make up 9. Peace! The charms wound up.
So foul and fair a day I have not seen. How far is it called, Forest? What are these so wild and so withered in their attire that look not like the inhabitants of the earth, and yet are on't? Live you? Or are you aught that man may question? You seem to understand me, by each at once her chappy finger laying upon her skinny lips. You should be women, and yet your beards forbid me to interpret that you are so.
Speak if you can. What are you?
All hail Macbeth! Hail to thee, Thane of Glamis.
All hail Macbeth. Hail to thee, Thane of Cawdor.
All hail Macbeth. Thou shalt be king hereafter.
Good sir, why do you start, and seem to fear things that do sound so fair? In the name of truth, are ye fantastical, or that indeed which outwardly ye show? My noble partner you greet with present grace and great prediction, of noble having and of royal hope, that he seems rapt withal. To me you speak not. If you can look into the seeds of time and say which grain will grow and which will not, speak then to me.
Hail!
Hail!
Hail! Lesser than Macbeth. Oh, yet greater.
Not so happy. Yet much happier.
Thou shalt get kings, though thou be none. So all hail Macbeth and Banquo. Oh, Banquo. And Macbeth. All hail.
Stay! Imperfect speakers. Tell me more. By Sinel's death, I know I am Thane of Glamis. But how of Cawdor? The Thane of Cawdor lives, a prosperous gentleman. And to be king stands not within the prospect of belief, no more than to be Cawdor. Say from whence you owe this strange intelligence, or why upon this blasted heath you stop our way with such prophetic greeting. Speak, I charge you!
The earth hath bubbles, as the water has, and these are of them. Whither are they banished?
Into the air. What seemed corporal melted as breath into the wind. Would they had stayed.
Were such things here as we do speak about, or have we eaten on the insane root that takes the reason prisoner?
Your children shall be kings.
You shall be king.
And Thane of Cawdor too, witted not so.
And the self-same tune in words. Who's here?
The king hath happily received, Macbeth, the news of thy success, and for an earnest of a greater honor, he bade me from him call thee Thane of Cawdor, in which addition, hail, most worthy Thane, for it is thine.
What, can the devil speak true?
The Thane of Cawdor lives. Why do you dress me in borrowed robes?
Who was the Thane lives yet, but under heavy judgment bears that life which he deserves to lose. Whether he was combined with those of Norway, or did line the rebel with hidden help and vantage, or that with both he labored in his country's wreck, I know not. But treason's capital confessed and proved have overthrown him.
Lawns and Thane of Cawdor. The greatest is behind. Thanks for your pains. Do you not hope your children shall be kings, when those that gave the Thane of Cawdor to me promised no less to them?
That trusted home might yet enkindle you under the crown, besides the Thane of Cawdor. But 'tis strange, and oftentimes, to win us to our harm, the instruments of darkness tell us truths, win us with honest trifles, to betrays in deepest consequence. Cousins, a word, I pray.
Two truths are told. As happy prologues to the swelling act of the imperial theme. This supernatural soliciting cannot be ill, cannot be good. If ill, why hath it given me earnest of success, commencing in a truth? I am Thane of Cawdor. If good, why do I yield to that suggestion whose horrid image doth unfix my hair, and make my seated heart knock at my ribs against the use of nature? Present fears are less than horrible imaginings. My thought, whose murder yet is but fantastical, shakes so my single state of man that function is smothered in surmise, and nothing is but what is not.
Look, how our partner's wrapped.
If chance will have me king, my chance may crown me without my stir.
New honors come upon him, like our strange garments, cleave not to their mold, but with the aid of use.
Come what come may, time and the hour runs through the roughest day.
Worthy Macbeth, we stay upon your leisure.
Give me your favor. My dull brain was wrought with things forgotten. Kind gentlemen, your pains are registered with every day that turn the leaf to breathe. Let us toward the king. Think upon what hath chanced, and at more time, the interim having waited, let us speak our free hearts each to other.
Very gladly.
Till then, enough. Come, friends.
His execution done on Cawdor. None of those in commission yet returned.
My liege, they have not yet returned, but I have spoke with one who saw him die. He did report that very frankly he confessed his treasons, implored your highness pardon, and set forth a deep repentance. Nothing in his life became him like the leaving it. He died as one that had been studied in his death to throw away the dearest thing he owned as 'twere a careless trifle.
There's no art to find mind's destruction in the face. He was a gentleman upon whom I built an absolute trust. Worthiest cousin, the sin of my ingratitude even now is heavy on me. Thou art so far before that swiftest wing of recompense is slow to overtake thee. The proportion of both thanks and payment might have been mine. Only I have left to say, more is thy due, and more than all can pay.
The service and the loyalty I owe in doing it pays itself. Your highness' part is to receive our duties, and our duties are to your throne and state, children and servants which do but what they should by doing everything safe toward your love and honor.
Welcome hither. I have begun to plant thee and will labor to make thee full of growing. Noble Banquo, you hath no less deserved to, must be known, no less to have done so. Let me enfold thee and hold thee to my heart.
There, if I grow, the harvest is your own.
My plenteous joys, wanted and fullness, seem to hide themselves in drops of sorrow. Sons, kinsmen, thanes, and you whose places are the nearest. No, we will establish our estate upon our eldest, Malcolm, whom we name hereafter the Prince of Cumberland, which honor must not unaccompanied invest him only, but signs of nobleness, like stars, shall shine on all deservers. From hence to Inverness, and bind us further to you.
The rest is labor which is not used for you. I'll be myself the harbinger and make joyful the hearing of my wife with your approach. So humbly take my leave.
My worthy Cawdor.
The Prince of Cumberland. That is a step on which I must fall down or else o'erleap, for in my way it lies. Stars, hide your fires. Let not light see my black and deep desires. The eye wink at the hand, yet let that be which the eye fears when it is done to see.
True, worthy Banquo, he is full so valiant, and in his commendations I am fed. It is a banquet to me. Come, let's after him, whose care is gone before to bid us welcome. It is a peerless kinsman.
They met me in the day of success, and I have learned by the perfect report they have more in them than mortal knowledge. When I burnt in desire to question them further, they made themselves air into which they vanished. Whilst I stood wrapped in the wonder of it, came missives from the king, who all hailed me Thane of Cawdor, by which title before these weird sisters saluted me, and referred me to the coming on of time with hail king that shall be. This I have thought good to deliver thee, my dearest partner of greatness, that thou mightst not lose the dues of rejoicing by being ignorant of what greatness is promised thee. Lay it to thy heart, and farewell. Glamis thou art, and Cawdor, and shalt be what thou art promised. Yet I do fear thy nature is too full of the milk of human kindness to catch the nearest way. Thou wouldst be great, art not without ambition, but without the illness should attend it. What thou wouldst highly, that wouldst thou holily. Thou wouldst not play false, and yet wouldst wrongly win. Hie thee hither, that I may pour my spirits in thine ear, and chastise with the valor of my tongue all that impedes thee from the golden round, which fate and metaphysics. What is your tidings?
The king comes here tonight.
Thou art mad to say it. Is not thy master with him, who worked so would have informed for preparation?
So please you, it is true, our Thane is coming. One of my fellows had the speed of him, who, almost dead for breath, had scarcely more than would make up his message.
Give him to me. He brings great news. The raven himself is hoarse, that croaks the fatal entrance of Duncan under my battlements. Come, you spirits that tend on mortal thoughts, unsex me here, and fill me from the crown to the toe, top full of direst cruelty. Make thick my blood, and stop up the access and passage to remorse, that no compunctuous visitings of nature shake my veiled purpose, nor keep peace between the effect and it. Come to my woman's breast and take my milk for gall, you murthering ministers, wherever in your sightless substances you wait on nature's mischief. Come, thick night, and pall thee in the dunnest smoke of hell, that my keen knife see not the wound it makes, nor heaven peep through the blanket of the dark to cry, hold, hold. Great Glamis, worthy Cawdor! Greater than both by the all-hail hereafter, thy letters have transported me beyond this ignorant present, and I feel now the future in an instant.
My dearest love, Duncan comes here tonight.
And when goes hence?
Tomorrow, as he purposes.
Oh, never shall sun that morrow see. Your face, my thane. Is as a book where men may read strange matters. To beguile the time, look like the time. Bear welcome in your eye, your hand, your tongue. Look like the innocent flower, but be the serpent under it. He that is coming must be provided for, and you shall put this night's great business into my dispatch, which shall to all our nights and days to come give solely sovereign sway and masterdom.
We will speak further.
Only look up clear. To alter favor ever is to fear. Leave all the rest to me.
This castle had a pleasant seat. Yeah, sweetly and nimbly recommends itself unto our gentle senses.
The heaven's breath smells wooingly here. The air is delicate.
See our honored hostess. The love that follows us sometimes is our trouble, which still we thank as love. Here and I teach thee how you shall beat God illness for your pain and thank us for your trouble.
All our service in every point, twice done and then done double, were poor and single business to contend. Against those honors, deep and broad, wherewith your majesty loads our house. For those of old and the late dignities heaped up to them, we rest your hermits.
Where's the Thane of Cawdor? We coursed him at the heels and had a purpose to be his purveyor, but he rides well. And his great love, sharp as his spur, hath opened to his home before us. Fair and noble hostess, we are your guests tonight.
Your servants ever have theirs themselves, and what is theirs in comp to make their audit at your highness' pleasure, still to return your own.
Give me your hand. Conduct me to mine host. We love him highly, and will continue our graces towards him. My your leave, hostess.
If it were done, when 'tis done, then 'twere well it were done quickly. If the assassination could trammel up the consequence and catch with his surcease success. That but this blow might be the be-all and the end-all here, but here upon this bank and shoal of time, we jump the life to come. But in these cases we still have judgment here, that we but teach bloody instructions, which being taught, return to plague the inventor. This even-handed justice commends the ingredients of our poison chalice to our own lips. He's here, in double trust. First, as I am his kinsman and his subject, strong both against the deed. Then as his host, who should against his murderer shut the door, not bear the knife myself. Besides, this Duncan hath borne his faculties so meek, hath been so clear in his great office that his virtues will plead like angels, trumpet-tongued against the deep damnation of his taking off. In pity, like a naked newborn babe striding the blast, or heaven's cherubim, horsed upon the sightless couriers of the air, shall blow the horrid deed in every eye, that tears shall drown the wind. I have no spur to prick the sides of my intent, but only vaulting ambition, which o'erleaps itself and falls on the other. Oh, now, what news?
He has almost supped. Why have you left the chamber?
Hath he asked for me?
Know you not he has?
We will proceed no further in this business. He hath honored me of late, and I have bought golden opinions from all sorts of people, which would be worn now in their newest gloss, not cast aside so soon.
Was the hope drunk wherein you dressed yourself? Hath it slept since? And wakes it now to look so green and pale as what it did so freely? From this time such I count thy love. Art thou feared to be the same in thy own act and valor as thou art in desire? Wouldst thou have what thou esteemest the ornament of life, and live a coward in thy own esteem? Letting I dare not wait upon I would, like the poor cat in the adage.
Prithee, peace! I dare do all that may become a man. Who dares do more is none.
What beast was it then that made you break this enterprise to me? When you durst do it, then you were a man. And to be more than what you were, you would be so much more the man. Nor time nor place did then adhere, and yet you would make both. They have made themselves, and their fitness now does unmake you. I have given suck, and know how tender 'tis to love the babe that milks me. And I would, while it was smiling in my face, have plucked my nipple from its boneless gums and dashed her brains out, had I so sworn as you have to this.
If we should fail.
We fail? But screw your courage to the sticking place and we'll not fail. When Duncan is asleep, whereto would rather his day's hard journey soundly invite him. His two chamberlains will I with wine and wazzle so convince that memory, the water of the brain, shall be a fume, the receipt of reason a limbeck only. When in swinish sleep their dreaded nature lies in a death. What cannot you and I perform upon the unguarded Duncan? What's not put upon his spongy officers, who shall bear the guilt of our great quail?
Bring forth the men children only. For thy undaunted mettle should compose nothing but males. Will it not be received when we have marked with blood those sleepy two of his own chamber, and used their very daggers, that they have done it?
Who dares receive it other, as we shall make our griefs and clamor roar upon their death?
I am settled, and bend up each corporal agent to this terrible feat. Away, and mock the time with fairest show. False face must hide,
But the false heart doth know. How goes the night, boy?
The moon is down. I have not heard the clock.
And she goes down at 12.
I take it 'tis later, sir.
Hold! Take my sword. There's husbandry in heaven. Their candles are all out. Take thee that too. A heavy summons lies like lead upon me, yet I would not sleep. Merciful powers restrain in me the cursed thoughts that nature gives way to in repose. Give me my knife. Who's there?
A friend.
What, sir? Not yet at rest? The king's abed. He hath been in unusual pleasure lately, and sent forth great largesse to your offices. This diamond he greets your wife withal, to the name of most kind hostess, and shut up in measureless content.
Being unprepared, our will became the servant to defect, which else should free have wrought.
All's well. I dreamt last night of the three weird sisters. To you they have showed some truth.
I think not of them. Yet, when we can entreat an hour to serve, we would spend it in some words upon that business, if you would grant the time.
At your kind's pleasure.
If you shall cleave to my consent, when 'tis, it shall make honor for you.
So I lose none in seeking to augment it, but still keep my bosom franchised and my allegiance clear. I shall be counseled.
Good repose the while.
Thanks, sir. The like to you.
Is this a dagger, which I see before me? The handle toward my hand. Come, let me clutch thee. I have thee not, and yet I see thee still. Art thou not, fatal vision, sensible to feeling as to sight? Or art thou but a dagger of the mind? A false creation proceeding from the heat oppressed brain? I see thee yet, in form as palpable as this, which now I draw. For thou marshall'st me the way that I was going, and such an instrument I was to use. Mine eyes are made the fools of the other senses, or else worth all the rest. I see thee still, and on thy blade and dudgeon gouts of blood, which was not so before. There's no such thing. It is the bloody business which informs us to mine eyes. Now, o'er the one half world, nature seems dead, and wicked dreams abuse the curtained sleep. Witchcraft celebrates pale Hecate's offerings, and withered murder, alarmed by his sentinel, the wolf whose howls his watch. Thus, with his stealthy pace, with Tarquin's ravishing strides towards his design, moves like a ghost. Thou sure and firm set earth, hear not my steps, which way they walk, for fear the very stones prate of my whereabout, and take the present horror from the time which now suits with it. Whiles I threat, he lives. Words to the heat of deeds too cold breath gives. I go, and it is done. The bell invites me. Hear it not, Duncan, for it is a knell that summons thee to heaven or to hell.
That which hath made them drunk hath made me bold. What hath quenched them hath given me fire. Hark, peace. It was the owl that shrieked. The fatal bellman which gives the sternest good night. He is about it. The doors are open, and the serpented grooves do mock their charge which snores. I have drugged their posets, that death and nature do contend about them, whether they live or die. Alack, I'm afraid they have awakened and 'tis not done. The attempt and not the deed confounds us. Hark, I laid their daggers ready, he could not miss him. Had he not resummoned my father as he slept, I had done it! My husband.
I have done the deed. Didst thou not hear a noise?
I heard the owl scream and the crickets cry. Did not you speak?
When?
Now.
As I descended.
I.
Hark, who lies at the second chamber?
Galvane.
This is a sorry sight.
A foolish thought to say a sorry sight.
This one did laugh in his sleep, and one cried murder, that they did wake each other. I stood and heard them, but they did say their prayers and addressed them again to sleep.
They are two lashed together.
And one cried, God bless us, and amen the other, as they had seen me with these hangman's hands. Listening their fear, I could not say amen when they did say God bless us. But wherefore could not I pronounce amen? I had no speed of blessing, and amen stuck in my throat.
Consider it not so deeply.
Methought I heard a voice cry, sleep no more. Macbeth does murder sleep. The innocent sleep. Sleep that knits up the raveled sleeve of care. The death of each day's life. So labour's path. Balm of hurt mind's great nature's second course. Chief nourisher in life's feast.
What do you mean?
Still it cried. Sleep no more. To all the house. Lambs hath murdered sleep. And therefore Cawdor shall sleep no more. Macbeth shall sleep no more.
Who was it that thus cried? Why, worthy that you do unbend your noble strength to think so brain sickly of things. Go get some water and wash this filthy witness from your head. Why did you bring these daggers from the place? They must lie there. Go carry them and smear the sleepy grooves with blood.
Go no more. I am afraid to think what I have done. Look out again, I dare not.
Infirm of purpose. Give me the daggers. The sleeping and the dead are but as pictures. 'Tis the eye of childhood that fears the painted devil. If you do bleed, I'll gild the faces of the grooms with all, for it must seem their guilt.
Whence is that knocking? I wist with me when every noise appalls me. What hands are here? They pluck out mine eyes. Will all great Neptune's ocean wash this blood clean from my hand? No. This, my hand, will rather the multitudinous seas incarnadine, making the green one red.
My hands are of your color, but I am ashamed to wear a heart so white. This night be at the south entry. Retire we to our chamber. A little water clears us of this deed. How easy is it then your constancy hath left you unattended? Hark, more knocking! Put on your nightgown, lest occasion call us and show us to be watchers. Be not lost so poorly in your thoughts.
To know my deed, thou best not know myself. Wait, Duncan, with thy knocking, that would thou couldst.
Here's a knocking indeed. If a man were porter of Hellgate, he should have old turning the key. Knock, knock, knock. Who's there in the name of Beelzebub? Here's a farmer that hanged himself on the expectation of plenty. Come in time. Have napkins and all about you. Here, you'll sweat for it. Knock, knock. Who's there in the other devil's name? Faith. Here's an equivocator that could swear in both the scales against either scale and committed treason enough for God's sake, but could not equivocate to heaven. Oh, come in, equivocator. Knock, knock. Who's there? Faith. Here's an English tailor, come hither for stealing out of a French hose. Come in, tailor, here you may roast your goose. Knock, knock, knock! Never at quiet. What are you? But this place is too cold for hell. I'll devil porter it no further. I thought to let in some of all professions that go the primrose way to the everlasting bonfire. Anon, anon! I pray you, remember the porter.
Was it so late, friend, ere you went to bed, that you do lie so late?
Faith, sir, we were carousing till the second cock. And drink, sir, is a great provoker of three things.
What three things does drink especially provoke?
Marriage, sir, sleep, nose painting, and urine. Lechery, sir, it provokes and unprovokes. It provokes the desire, but it takes away the performance. Therefore, much drink may be said to be an equivocator with lechery, huh? Yeah. It makes him and it mars him. It sets him on and it takes him off. Persuades him and disheartens him. Makes him stand too. And not stand too. In conclusion, equivocates him in his sleep and giving him the lie, leaves him.
I believe drink gave thee the lie last night.
That it did, sir, in the very throat of me. But I requited him for his lie, and I think, being too strong for him, though he took up my leg sometime, yet
Is thy master stirring? Our knocking has awaked him. Here he comes.
Good morrow, noble sir.
Good morrow, both.
Is the king stirring, worthy friend?
Not yet.
He did command me to call timely on him. I have almost slipped the hour.
I'll bring you to him.
I know this is a joyful trouble to you, but yet it is one.
The labor we delight in, physics pain. This is the door.
I'll make so bold to call, for 'tis my limited service.
Goes the king hence today?
He does. He did appoint it so.
The night has been unruly. Where we lay, our chimneys were blown down. And as they say, lamentings heard in the air, strange screams of death, and prophesying with accents terrible, of dire combustion and confused events new hatched to the woeful time. The obscure bird clamored the livelong night. Some say the earth was feverous and did shake.
'Twas a rough night.
My remembrance cannot parallel well to it.
Oh, horror, 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 tongue nor heart cannot conceive nor name thee.
What's the matter?
Confusion now hath made his masterpiece. Most sacrilegious murder hath broke off the Lord's anointed temple and stolen thence the life of the building.
What is't you say? The life?
Mean you his majesty?
Approach the chamber and destroy your sight with a new Gorgon. Do not bid me speak. See and speak yourselves. Awake! Awake! Ring the alarum bell! Murder and treason! Banquo and Donalbain, Malcolm, awake! Cast off this downy sleep, death's counterfeit, and look on death itself. Awake! Up! Up and see the great doom's image!
What's the business? There's such a hideous trumpet calls to parlay the sleepers of the house. Speak! Speak!
Oh, gentle lady, 'tis not for you to hear what I can speak. The repetition in a woman's ear would murder as it fell. Oh, Banquo, our royal master's murdered.
What, in our house?
Too cruel anyway. Dear Dove, I prithee contradict thyself and say it is not so.
Had I but lived, or died an hour before this chance, I had lived a blessed time. For from this instant there is nothing serious in mortality. All is but toys. Renown and grace is dead. The wine of life is drawn, and the mere lees is left this vault to brag of.
What is amiss?
You are and do not know it. The spring, the head, the fountain of your blood is stopped. The very source of it is stopped.
Your royal father's murdered.
Oh. By whom?
Those of his chambers, as it seemed, had done it. Their hands and faces were embadged with blood, so were their daggers, which unwiped we found upon their pillows. They stared and were distracted. No man's life was to be trusted with them.
Oh, yet I do repent me of my fury that I did kill them.
Wherefore did you so?
Who can be wise amazed? Temperate and furious, loyal and neutral in a moment. No man! The expedition of my violent love outrun the pause of reason. Here lay Duncan, his silver skin laced with his golden blood. And his gashed stabs looked like a breach in nature for ruin's wasteful entrance. There, the murderers, steeped in the colors of their trade, their daggers unmannerly breached with gore. Who could refrain that had a heart to love, and in that heart courage to make his love known?
Help me! Pinto!
Look to the lady!
Why do we hold our tongues that most may claim this argument for ours?
What should be spoken here, where our fates hidden in auger hole may rush and seize us? Let's away. Our tears are not yet brewed.
Nor our strong sorrow upon the foot of motion.
Look to the lady.
And when we have our naked frailties hid that suffer an exposure, let us meet and question this most bloody piece of work to know it further. Fears and scruples shake us. In the great hand of God I stand, and thence against the undivulged pretense I fight of treasonous malice.
And so do I.
So,
Oh, let's briefly put on manly readiness and meet in the hall together.
Well contented. What will you do? Let's not consort with them. To show an unfelt sorrow is an office which the false man does easy. Out to England.
To Ireland, aye. Our separated fortune shall keep us both the safer. Where we are, there's daggers and men's smiles. The nearer blood, the nearer bloody.
This murderous shaft that shot hath not yet lighted, and our safest way is to avoid the air. Therefore to horse, and let us not be dainty of leave-taking, but shift away. There's warrant in that theft which steals itself when there's no mercy left.
I can remember well hours dreadful and things strange, but this sore night hath trifled former knowings.
Thou seest the heavens as troubled with man's act threaten his bloody stage. By the clock 'tis day, and yet dark night strangles the traveling lamp. It's the night's predominance, or the day's shame that darkness does the face of earth entomb when living light should kiss it.
'Tis unnatural, even like the deed that's done. On Tuesday last, a falcon towering in her pride of place was by a mousing owl hawked at and killed.
And Duncan's horses, a thing most strange and certain, beauteous and swift, the minions of their race turned wild in nature, broke their stalls, flung out, contending against obedience as they would make war with mankind.
'Tis said they eat each other.
They did so, to the amazement of mine eyes that looked upon it. Here comes a good Macduff. How goes the world for now?
Why see you not?
It's known who did this more than bloody deed.
Those that Macbeth has slain,
Alas the day. What good could they pretend?
They were suborned. Malcolm and Donalbain, the king's two sons, are stolen away and fled, which puts upon them suspicion of the deed.
Against nature still. Then 'tis most like the sovereignty will fall upon Macbeth.
He is already named and gone to Scone to be invested.
Where is Duncan's body?
Carried to Colmkill, the sacred storehouse of his predecessors and guardian of their bones.
Will you to Scone?
No, cousin. I'll to Fife.
Well, I will thither.
Well, may you see things well done there. Adieu, lest our old rogues sit easier than our new.
Farewell. God's benison go with you and with those who would make good of bad and friends of foes.
It now. King, Cawdor, Glamis, all as the weird women promised. And I fear thou playedst most foully for it. It was said it should not stand in thy posterity, but that myself should be the root and father of many kings. There come truth from them, as upon thee, Macbeth, their speeches shine. Why, by the verities on thee make good, may they not be my oracles as well, and set me up in hope?
Ah,
but hush, no more.
Here's our chief guest.
If he had been forgotten, it would have been as a gap in our great feast, and all thing unbecoming.
Tonight we hold a solemn supper, sir. And I'll request your presence.
Let your highness command upon me, to the which my duties are with the most indissoluble tie forever knit.
Ride you this afternoon?
Aye, my good lord.
We should have else desired your good advice, which still hath been both grave and prosperous in this day's council. But we'll take tomorrow. Is't far you ride?
As far, my lord, as will fill up the time twixt this and supper. Go not my horse the better, I must become a borrower of the night for an hour or twain.
Fail not our feast.
My lord, I will not.
We hear our bloody cousins are bestowed in England and in Ireland, not confessing their cruel parricide, filling their hearers with strange invention. But of that tomorrow, when therewithal we shall have cause of state craving us jointly. Hie you to horse. Adieu till you return at night. Goes Fleance with you?
Aye, my lord, our time does call upon us.
I wish your horses swift and sure of foot, and so I do commend you to their backs. Farewell. Let every man be master of his time till 7 at night. To make society the sweeter welcome, we will keep ourselves till supper time alone. Well then, I'll be with you. Madam, a word with you. Attend those men, our pleasure.
They are, my lord, without the palace gate.
Bring them before us. To be thus is nothing, but to be safely thus. Our fears in Banquo stick deep, and in his royalty of nature reigns that which would be feared. 'Tis much he dares, and to that dauntless temper of his mind he hath a wisdom that doth guide his valor to act in safety. There is none but he whose being I do fear, and unto him my genius is rebuked, as it is said Mark Antony's was by Caesar. sisters when first they put the name of king upon me, and bade them speak to him. Then prophet like, they hailed him father to a line of kings. Upon my head they placed a fruitless crown, and put a barren sceptre in my grip, thence to be wrenched with an unlineal hand, no son of mine succeeding. If be so, for Banquo's issue have I filed my mind. For them, the gracious Duncan, have I murdered, but rankers in the vessel of my peace, only for them, and mine eternal jewel given to the common enemy of man, to make them kings, the seeds of Banquo kings. Rather than so, come fate into the list, and champion me to the utterance. Who's there? Now go to the door and stay there till we call. Was it not yesterday we spoke together?
It was, so please your highness.
Well then, now have you considered my speeches? Know that it was he in the times past which held you so under fortune, which you thought had been our innocent self. This I made good to you in our last conference, passed in probation with you.
You made it known to us.
Do you find your patience so predominant in your nature that you can let this go?
We are men, my liege.
Aye. In the catalogue, ye go for men. Hounds and greyhounds, mongrels, spaniels, curs, chuffs, water rugs, and demi-wolves are clept all by the name of dogs. The valued file distinguishes the swift, the slow, the subtle, the housekeeper, the hunter. Everyone according to the gift which bounteous nature hath enclosed, whereby he does receive particular addition from the bill that writes them all alike, and so of men. Now, if you have a station in the file, not in the worst rank of manhood, say it.
I am one, my liege, whom the vile blows and buffets of the world have so incensed that I am reckless. What I do to spite the world.
And I another, so weary with disasters, and tugged with fortune that I would set my lie on any chance to mend it, or be rid on it.
Both of you know Banquo was your enemy.
True, my lord.
So is he mine. And in such bloody distance that every minute of his being thrust against my nearest of life, and though I could with barefaced power sweep him from my sight and bid my will about it, yet I must not, for certain friends that are both his and mine, whose loves I may not prop, but wail his fall, who I myself struck down. And thence it is that I to your assistance do make love, masking the business from the common eye for sundry weighty reasons.
We shall, my lord, perform as you command.
Though our
Your
lives...
spirits shine through you. Within this hour at most, I will advise you where to plant your sails. Acquaint you with the perfect spy of the time and moment taught, where it must be done tonight. And something from the palace. Always thought that I require a clearness. And with him, to leave no rubs nor botches in the work. Fleance, his son, that keeps him company, whose absence is no less material to me than is his father's, must embrace the fate of that dark hour. Resolve yourselves apart, I'll come to you anon.
We are resolved, my lord.
It is concluded, Banquo. Thy soul's flight, if it find heaven, must find it out tonight.
Has Banquo gone from court? Aye, madam, but returns again tonight.
Say to the king, I would attend his leisure for a few words.
Madam, I will.
Knots had all spent, or our desires got without content. 'Tis safer to be that which we destroy than by destruction dwell in doubtful joy. How now, my lord? Why do you keep alone? Of sorriest fancies your companions making, using those thoughts which indeed should have died with them they think on. Things without all remedy should be without regard. What's done is done.
Duncan is in his grave. After life's fitful fever, he sleeps well. Treason has done his worst. No steel, no poison, malice domestic, foreign levy, nothing can touch him further.
Come on, gentle my lord. Sleek over your rugged looks, and be bright and jovial among your guests tonight.
So shall I, love. And so I pray be you. Let your remembrance apply to Banquo. Present him eminence both with eye and tongue, unsafe the while that we must lave our honors in these flattering streams and make our faces visits to our hearts, disguising what they are.
You must leave this.
Oh, full of scorpions is my mind, dear wife. Thou knowest that Banquo and his flayons lives.
But in them nature's copy's not eternal.
There's comfort yet. They are assailable. Then be thou jocund. Ere the bat hath flown his cloistered flight, ere to black Hecate summons the shard-born beetle with his drowsy hums hath wrung night's yawning peal, there shall be done a deed of dreadful note.
What's to be done?
Be innocent of the knowledge, dearest Chuck, till thou applaud the deed. Come, sealing night, scarf up the tinder eye of pitiful day, and with thy bloody and invisible hand cancel and tear to pieces that big bond which keeps me pale. Light thickens, and the crow makes wing to the rooky wood. Good things of day begin to droop and drowse, whilst night's black agents to their praise do rouse. Thou marvelst at my words, but hold thee still. Things bad begun make strong themselves by ill. So prithee go with me.
But who did bid thee join with us?
Macbeth.
He needs not our mistrust. Since he delivers our officers in what we have to do, to the direction just.
And stand with us. The west yet glimmers with some streaks of day, and now spurs the laden traveler pace to gain the timely end, and near approach is the subject of our watch.
Hark! I hear horses.
Give us a light there, Hope. And it is he. The rest that are within the notes of expectation already are in the court.
A light! A light!
Hey,
Stand to it! It'll be rain tonight.
Let it come down.
Oh, treachery!
Fly, good flyers! Fly, fly, fly! Let me through the ends!
Who did strike out the light?
Was not the way?
There's but one down! The sun is fled! We have lost best half of our fare!
Well, let us away and say how much is done.
And first and last, the hearty welcome.
Thanks, Your Majesty.
Ourself will mingle with society and play the humble host. Our hostess keeps her state, but in best time we will require her welcome.
Pronounce it for me, sir, to all our friends, for my heart speaks, they are welcome.
See, they encounter thee with their heart's thanks. Be large in mirth, anon we'll drink a measure of the assembly round. There's blood upon my face.
'Tis Banquo's then.
Is he dispatched?
Aye, my lord. His throat is cut. That I did for him.
Thou art the best of the cutthroats. Yet he's good that did the like for flayons. If thou didst it, thou art the non-pariah.
Most royal sir, Flayons has escaped.
Then comes my fit again. I had us been perfect! But Banquo's safe.
Aye, my lord. Safe in a ditch he bides, with 20 trench gashes on his head, the least a death to nature.
Thanks for that. Get thee gone. Tomorrow we'll hear ourselves again.
My royal lord, you do not give the cheer.
Sweet remembrance, sir. Now good digestion wait on appetite, and health on both.
May it please your highness join us?
Here have we now our country's honour roofed, with the graced person of our Banquo present, whom may I rather challenge for unkindness than pity for mischance.
His absence, sir, lays blame upon his promise. Please, your highness, to grace us with your royal company.
What is that moves your highness?
Which of you have done this?
What, my good lord?
Thou canst not say I did it! Never shake thy gory locks at me!
Gentlemen, his highness is not well.
Worthy prince, my lord is often thus in happen from his youth. Pray you, the fit is momentary, upon a thought he will again be well. If much you note him, you shall offend him, and extend his passion. Regard him not. Are you a man?
Aye, and a bold one. A dare look on that which might appall the devil.
Oh, proper stuff! This is the very painting of your fear. This is the air-drawn dagger which you said led you to Duncan. These flaws and starts, impostors to true fear, could well become a woman's story at a witch's fire, authorized by her granddam. Shame itself. Why do you make such faces? When all is done, you look but on the air.
Did thee see there? Behold, look, lo, how say you? Why, what care I? If thou canst nod, speak to! If John no houses and our graves must send those that we bury back, a monument shall be the Mars of kites!
What? Quite unmanned in folly.
If I stand here, I saw him.
Fie for shame! My worthy lord, your noble friends do lack you.
Do not muse at me, my most worthy friend. I have a strange infirmity, which is nothing to those that know me. Come, love and health to all. Give me some wine. Fill, full. I drink to the general joy of the assembly. And to our dear friend Banquo, whom we miss. Would he were here. To all in him we thirst, and all to all.
Our duties in the pledge.
Vaunted quit my sight! Let the earth hide thee! Thy bones are marrowless, thy blood is cold! Thou hast no speculation in those eyes which thou hast glared!
Think of this, good Piers, but is a thing of custom. 'Tis no matter, only it spoils the pleasure of the time.
What man dare I dare? Approach thou like the rugged Russian bear, the armed rhinoceros, or the hulking tiger! Take any shape but that, and my firm nerves shall never tremble. Or be alive again, and dare me to the desert with thy sword! If trembling I inhabit then, protest me the baby of a girl! Hence, horrible shadow! Unreal mockery! Hence! Why so, being gone, I am a man again.
You have displaced the mirth, broke the merry meeting, with most admired disorder.
Can such things be? An overcomer's like a summer's cloud without our special wonder? You make me strange, even to the disposition that I owe, when now I think you can behold such sights, and keep the natural rupee of your cheeks when mine is blanched with fear.
What sights, my lord?
Pray you, speak not. He grows worse and worse. Questions enrage him. At once, good night. Wait not in the order of your going, but go at once.
Good night. Better health attend his majesty.
A kind good night to all.
It will have blood, they say. Blood will have blood. Stones have been known to move and trees to speak. Auguries and understood relations have by maggot pies and chops and rooks brought forth the secretest man of blood. What is the night?
Almost at odds with morning. Which is which?
How sayest thou? That Macduff denies his person at our great bidding.
Did you send to him, sir?
I hear it by the way. But I will send. There's not a one of them but in this house I keep a servant feed. I will tomorrow, and betimes I will to the weird sisters. More shall they speak, for now I am bent to know by the worst means. The worst. For mine own good, all causes shall give way. I am in blood stepped in so far that should I wade no more, returning were as tedious as go on. Strange things I have in head that will to hand, which must be acted ere they may be scanned.
You lack the season of all nature's sleep.
Come, with us sleep. My strange and self-abuse is the initiate fear that wants hard use. We are yet but young,